Well, hello. I was just pondering about something because I got to listening to an interview with a couple of scientists, different ones. One of them was a thing about rare earth, about the minerals that are needed for ammunition and such. And the other one was about the climate change. And I got to thinking, this good or evil thing, all this stuff boils down. In one, they were talking about how President Trump had opened up with an executive order and allowed the mining, development of precious metals in the United States. But as soon as Joe Biden took over as president, he abandoned that and shut it down, so the United States is almost totally dependent upon going to worldwide sources to get these things. And apparently China has about 60% of the rare earth stuff, and it's also wound up with a whole bunch of holdings in other countries besides its own. So, and then the one that really caught my attention was a guy. He's a Norwegian. Well, his nationality is Norwegian, but he was explaining all the different ethnic groups in Europe. And what really struck me and got me caught on the edge of this good or evil idea I've been following is the idea that white supremacy. You hear that all the time. The United States are always, this discrimination because of white supremacy, etc., etc., etc. Well, listening to this fellow, he's quite he was scientific, studied different things about ethnicity. And it got me to thinking, when I was young, there was a movie with Yul Brynner. It was called Taurus Bulba. And it was about the Cossacks that lived up there in portions, Russia and where Ukraine is, where that stuff's going on there. You never hear anybody say anything about the Cossacks. They were kind of a wild people that were big into horses and all this kind of stuff back before the communists developed the Soviet Union. Apparently, after the communists took over, and especially up into that buddy Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that was the head honcho in Russia through the Second World War. He must have killed off tens of thousands of Cossacks and other people that didn't want to become dominated by. They didn't want to submit to the communist rule. Now, people don't ever think about that, but now that's when they say white supremacy, and you look at them things that they got these different Native American, they got Hispanic, they got black, they got different things, and then they have Caucasian. Well, the Caucasia area over there in Europe's where I guess a lot of white people came from. But do you ever think about all the different ethnic groups that make up white what is mistakenly called the white race. Now this Norwegian guy, he could point out to where there had been in Norway several different ethnic groups that were all Norwegian, historically Norwegian nationality. He could talk over there, and he got over there and he's talking about how the DNA, he was mostly of a certain type, and then there was from the British Isles and the Celtic peoples in his DNA. And he could show over around the Mediterranean where there was various DNA stuff. Showed, and he had kind of an idea how there had been thousands, tens of thousands, different ethnic groups around through Europe, no bigger than it is compared to North and South America, compared to that China area. Well, just look at how many different ethnic groups are in that Asian area. We all think of Chinese, we think of Japanese, we think of Korean, we think of various ones there. But they're not the same. They are the same nationalities because they're Korean is a Korean nationality. Vietnamese is a Vietnamese nationality. But there were, United States had a lot. The Montagnard tribesmen were sort of well, they weren't urban livers really, but they were believed in liberty and freedom, and they were big allies to the United States when the United States was in that illicit Vietnam deal. But when the United States pulled out, they just abandoned those people. Now, how many different groups of Montagnard tribesmen there might have? Was there only one ethnic group? Or was there 10 or 12 or 15? See now, that's Vietnam, the North, Ho Chi Minh and them boys. I don't know what ethnic group they were. I don't know what the ethnic group goes all over. You get China messing around with them guys over there, them priests of that religion. They'd like to get them out there. They'd like to hang them all from a tree. But, so this white supremacy thing, it's a farce. It's not a real thing. It's not. It's more an elitist, money, power thing than a white skin thing. It just so happens, like the Jewish people, look at all the good businessmen and the good businesses and the rich Jewish people there are. There's a lot of them like that. Now you get to look at a lot of them in the United States, them rich guys, billionaires, and that, them families. You want to check into how legal, how moral, how honest and honorable their business dealings were to build up them fine fortunes? Start checking it out. It's not white supremacy. It has to do with elitism. Check it out. Well, I'll come up with something else for later. I thank you for listening. And I do enjoy seeing that I get 5 or 6 views on these things. So I'd ask you, just to make me feel good, maybe you'd tell a neighbor and get him to look at it, laugh at me. Talk to you later. May God bless you all.